Folks, the Virginia legislature, all seats are up in November. They recently had the primaries, and one woman, African-American woman, she ran against in the Democratic primary. She lost by 49 votes to an African-American brother. She now is claiming irregularities and is suing the state Democratic Party. Makya Little joins us right now. Glad to have you here on the show. So, Makya, real simple, what is the basis of your lawsuit?
Thank you for having me on your show, Roland. The basis of my lawsuit is basically not only did the Democratic Party of Virginia break their own policies, but also that the Board of Elections allowed what is considered an impure election. And not only has this been done in my race, by the way, I'm still running, not only has this been done in my primary, it's become a pattern and practice in Virginia politics where if the Democratic Party perceives any non-incumbent as a threat, your paperwork suddenly disappears and you somehow disappear from the ballot. And based on the research that I've done, it has become what you identify as white minority resistance, because I believe the same way that white Americans who are drunken by power recognize that the browning of America is inevitable. What they've done is essentially position themselves to maintain power and control by, I'll call it sponsoring. Sponsoring people of color to run for certain positions. And as long as those individuals are willing to fall in line, that's who essentially gets the party nod. And so those who are genuinely running
So one second. You called it an impure election.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Okay, so for my particular race, one of the things that they did was use manipulative sample ballots. So when most Democrats go to the polls in the fall, which is when most of us vote, a lot of us don't vote during primaries, we are used to receiving some sort of sample ballot, like a blue piece of paper with names checked as far as who has received the party nomination. They use that in a primary while wearing official committee gear. Another thing that they did was allow my opponent to maintain his...
No. One second. I got to go, because you said, again, you said the Board of Elections allowed an impure election.
Yes.
So are you alleging that the Board of Elections was engaging in irregularities, or are you alleging that the Democratic Party was?
One and the same.
Because the county board of elections oversees the election, not the party, even though the primaries are Republican Democratic primaries.
Right, but the Virginia Board of Elections certifies the election. I went in person, read my complaint that I had sent in advance. So that at least should spark an investigation, or for the Democratic Party to be able to say, we've investigated this and we verify that this was done based on our policies. My complaint was completely ignored.
But you mentioned the ballots. But I think I go back. I'm still trying to understand. You mentioned the ballots. You said that you're what? Okay, are you saying your name wasn't on a sample ballot, which is not the actual ballot, or are you saying that your name did not appear on actual ballots that voters voted with? Which one?
So my opponent's name was the only name checked on these sample ballots that were being passed out by official committee members of the Democratic Party.
Okay, but a sample ballot is not an actual ballot. So
that is correct.
Okay, so you're saying that they broke their own rules by passing out sample ballots? Haven't they used sample ballots in previous elections?
The rule is that the committee cannot officially endorse a candidate before that candidate is nominated. So if you have official committee members handing out sample ballots with only one candidate's name checked in a three-way primary, that is an endorsement.
Actually, that's not an endorsement. An actual endorsement is if a body takes an actual vote and as a body they endorse. But do the rules state that an individual operating as an individual cannot pass out sample ballots? So what do the rules say?
So
Did the Democratic Party take an actual vote endorsing your opponent?
No, but they took a position. And 10.11 reads, party endorsements, the Democratic Party of Virginia and any of its components, including county and city Democratic committees, congressional district committees, the state central committee, the state steering committee, and state party caucuses may not formally endorse contested candidates for office prior to their nomination. The aforementioned groups also may not endorse during the reorganization process or officers' elections at any level of the Democratic Party. And the individuals that are listed as being representatives are identified as the chairs, the vice chairs, like any individual who is a representative of the party cannot endorse. And so if you're wearing official committee
gear, you mentioned earlier about right.
And you are passing out. And I actually approached the Woodbridge district chairperson who was wearing a Prince County Democratic T-shirt, passing out my opponent's ballots. And I said, I have no problem with you supporting whomever you want to support. However, I do take issue with you doing so wearing official committee gear, because what you are communicating to voters is that this person has already received the support of the committee visually.
So you mentioned earlier about, first of all, your opponent who won is an African-American male, correct?
He is. All three of us were African-American.
All three African-American, but you asserted that it was a form of essentially white supremacy, that they were handpicking somebody. So are you upset that white members were supporting a black candidate? So because it's not like they were supporting a white candidate over you. You're upset that a black candidate won.
It's not that I'm upset a black candidate won. You just mentioned Tim Scott. Can we not agree that all skin folk ain't kinfolk?
Well, Tim Scott is a Republican in South Carolina. You're running against two other Democrats, correct?
I am.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, is it that, because again, you made the comment about, them basically picking somebody black to do what they want. So are you saying that the person who won, would not represent black interest?
Absolutely not.
What are you actually saying? Okay. All right. So you filed your complaint, and the board still went and certified the election. You said, I'm still a candidate. How? If they certified the election and he won, how are you still a candidate?
He won the party nomination.
Okay. So are you running in November as an independent?
Well, the lawsuit that I filed is requesting that as a remedy for them running an impure election, breaking their own rules, which there is no remedy for in the law. So the law assumes that everything is done on the up and up. And it was not. And we have 265 pages of exhibits demonstrating that. And so...
But my whole point is you called yourself still a candidate, but you're actually not. You filed a lawsuit, but it's not like there's some sort of injunction. It's not like the race hasn't been certified. So the Board of Elections has already certified the race, correct?
Correct. There are options.
So your opponent is actually the nominee. So you're hoping that you're able to stop him from being the nominee come the fall, correct?
He can be the Democratic nominee. My thing is there should be remedies for the Board of Elections and the Democratic Party going against their own policies and plans and legal responsibilities of ensuring a pure election by either extending the deadline for me to run as an independent and worst case scenario, running as a write-in candidate. But at this point, there are no.
Wait a minute. So why? So first of all, hold on. When you say extend the deadline, so has the deadline passed for you to run as an independent in November?
June 20th is the deadline for candidates to file as an independent. Yes.
Okay. So what prohibits you from running as a write-in candidate?
Nothing.
Okay. So. Do you plan on running as a write-in candidate in November?
The preference is obviously to be printed on the ballot, and that's what we're requesting in the lawsuit. Because right now, the members of my district have no choice. They have no option.
Okay. Has it? And last question for you: have you received a response from the county or the state Democratic Party?
The only response I've received so far is retaliation. They dismantled or had Act Blue take down my fundraising page. They've complained about me on Facebook and had my social media pages attempted to have them disabled. And that is where the losing it comes in, because,
well, first of all, when you say they took down your fundraising page, but don't they do that after a primary is over?
No, you can fundraise.
You don't leave.
You can fundraise as long as you continue to file your quarterly reports. Nothing prohibits anyone from fundraising. I could essentially launch a campaign for 2 years from now and continue fundraising, which is what Donald Trump, as you say, has done, with the legal fund and all the things. Anyone can continue fundraising. And so what it is that they've recognized that fundraising is definitely a strong suit, and so is social media as a graphic designer. And so it's basically their way of retaliating for not falling in line.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, we'll certainly see what happens in this case. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.